Okay, we are going to declare a quorum. We are going to commence the I'm going to call the City of Groton Mayor and Council meeting to order for Tuesday, September 4, 2018. Clerk Patrick, please call the roll.
Present, excuse me, present are Mayor Keith Hedrick, Deputy Mayor Lawrence Garish, Councilors Joe Rusk, Stephen Sheffield, Guinevere Depot, Richard Carter, Finance Director Ron Newhouse, Clerk Deborah Patrick, excused as Councilor Jamal Beckford.
Please stand and salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognition, awards, and memorials. Council, do we have any? Okay. Receipt of citizens' petitions and comments. This is the portion of the council meeting where the council welcomes comments from citizens. To address the council, please sign the sheet on the table in front of the meeting room when you're recognized by the mayor. Please approach the podium, clearly state your name and address, and speak into the microphone. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to the City of Groton. City councilors will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation, and then can respond during the responses to citizens' petition portion of the meeting. It's not intended to be a debate. This is intended for the citizens to speak. Council can ask clarifying questions, and then they will respond during their session. Do we have anyone that's signed up?
Yes.
Mike, please come forward.
Howdy, Mike Boucher, 16 Hillside Avenue, Groton. Hello, good citizens of Groton. I'm here tonight to shed more light on the new sewer tax, a tax that has more than doubled in the last year. A tax which provides relief for wealthy property owners while forcing the poor working families and renters to pay a significant increase in their portion of the sewer budget. So what has happened, and what has our mayor and council done? For years, your city government has poorly managed and underfunded the sewer department. Your mayor and council claim from a property tax to what they now call a sewer fee is a fair way to fund sewer. This may be true if the sewer budget had remained the same as it was the last year, under $2 million. To increase the sewer budget by $3 million, more than double what it was last year, and shift the burden on families, the poor, and renters is a tax on those less able to pay. Problem one, as I said, years of poor management and underfunding by sewer by your city government. Problem two is the huge increase in the sewer budget by $3 million in 1 year. Problem three, a tax which targets the poor, families, and renters, while at the same time provides relief to wealthy property owners. Problem four, unmetered sewer charges. Your mayor and council charge you at 100% of the water you use, claiming it must all go to the sewer. Your mayor and council refused to use the winter data, claiming water use was higher, so expensive sewer meters were the only way to prove what you really use. Now those who can afford sewer meters are putting them to use. Industrial, commercial, and residential customers are using these meters, and the effects are devastating. Last month's sewer revenue was 35% below budget. Now your mayor and council claim the summer as high use months, and you will pay less as your water use drops in the fall and winter. Okay, that sounds better, except that if you use less water in the other months of the year, that means the sewer revenue will keep dropping. As more customers who can afford sewer meters put them in and use them, sewer revenue keeps on dropping. Now guess who is stuck picking up the slack? The poor and families who can't afford sewer meters, and the renters who have no say in placing a meter in their rental. The city has few options: raise the rates to meet the sewer budget needs, cut the sewer budget, but if that was an honest budget, there should be no fluff or extras in the budget in the first place. Or do what the city often does and let your electric bill pay for sewer also. Your mayor and council say pay your fair share. Will police and fire service become pay as you need? Garbage pickup, pay by the bag? Pay more for every child you send to school? Your mayor and council would have had to raise property taxes by 3 mills to cover the new sewer budget, so they pulled a fast one, a classic Donald Trump move. Save wealthy property owners money by pulling sewer out of the city taxes and just call it a user fee. Claim it is fair and that everyone pays their own way. Is that really how a $3 million increase in the sewer budget should be handled? I would say no. Mayor Hendricks had no problem voting to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for white-collar crime lawyers and fighting state legislation when it comes to the foolish participation of city and GU representatives in the lavish trips to the Kentucky Derby, which cost over $1 million. Take a moment and think about the less fortunate but honest citizens of the city. The $3 million increase in the sewer budget needs to be rolled in at a much slower pace and should not target those less able to pay. Thanks, and that's it.
Okay. Are there any other citizens who would like to speak? Okay, that moves us to response to citizens' petitions. Council? Councilor Depot?
I would like to respond to one thing first that has come up is the increase in the budget. The budget for sewer had to increase because it was underfunded for so many years. And the other thing that I wanted to add about the budget is at the COW that we had, the committee of the whole meeting that we just had on, what date was that, August 20th? August 27th. We actually had a presentation by the utility director, and we went into depth on that, what appeared to be under budget and the way that the bills come in, so that at the time of reporting, we didn't actually have all of the July income in. And I'm not going to explain it as well as the utility director did, and we asked him several questions. So I would encourage people to again, ask specific questions or go back, and we have these presentations at the committee of the whole meeting so that people can be informed. So we had quite a bit of budget information on all of the utilities at the last committee of the whole meeting, and that's where you're going to get a lot of your information. And we're going to continue having presentations from the utility director at our committee of the whole meetings going forward, due to the newness of this sewer fee and us trying to make it work for everyone. And we are paying close attention every month to what money is coming in and how it's being used and the budget. So just a lot of that information is going to be at committee of the whole meeting. So if you are looking for details on that, or you know, send us emails for questions you have. We can ask them at those meetings of the director when he's here, of the utility director. That's what I would encourage people to do, because like I said, there was a lot of information that addressed a lot of the things that you said, that you discussed about the sewer fees. A lot of that was discussed at the committee of the whole meeting.
Councilor Carter?
Sorry. I think I speak. I know I speak for myself and pretty much the majority of the council. I mean, for myself, I'm a property owner, but I'm not wealthy by any means. And you mentioned wealthy property owners several times. I'm a working class man myself with 3 kids, and I also have to pay the fee. So actually, everybody here has to pay that fee. So to address the mayor and council as if we're not also affected or do not pay as well, just to make that clear, it's not like, you know, we're feeling the effect as well, you know. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Councilor Rusk?
I think it's important to reiterate that we have said time and again that we will look at this at the 6-month mark. We will see if there needs to be made changes, anything needs to be tweaked. To do anything before then would be rash, and I don't think that we have enough numbers to make that change now.
Anyone else? Okay, a couple of things. First of all, there is no sewage meter. If people want to separately meter their water intake, they can do that. They can purchase a separate meter for irrigation, for watering gardens, washing cars, filling pools. We have had a couple people, residents, actually do that. They did notice a decrease in their sewer fee. We as the city of Groton were one of the laggers in instituting a sewer fee. It's not a tax, it's a fee. It's a fee for a service that is used. It was previously covered under a tax. It was part of your tax base. The challenge was, in order to help maintain the tax rates that we have so that they don't go up and down and fluctuate due to infrastructure charges, the decision was made, and we've been studying this since 2011, the decision was made to pull it out of the tax base into an enterprise account. The increase in the money was based on a cost of service study, which has been discussed, and that was the cost of service study includes, one, the O&M, operation and maintenance budget, and then two, the additional capital improvements that we need to do. It is a budget, and in a budget, you budget for, the budget was based on the assumption that all of the water that residents and commercial and industrial users used would go through the sewer and would not be separately metered. As a result of that, we did have a couple of industrial users that have meters that prove that that water is not being used that would go to the sewer. So that was deducted. As a result, there was a 35% decrease in revenue in the first month. And I'd like to draw attention to that. We have 1 month's worth of data. You have a single data point. We're about to get August information that's going to come out. One of the commitments that we've made is that we are going to look at the information every month. We're going to look at revenues, and we're also going to look at expenses. Right now, we are operating on a cash basis, which means we are not bonding, we're not borrowing money, we're not borrowing money from electric. We have made the budget, although the revenue is 35% under budget, expenses were under budget as well, and therefore we were on budget. We will continue to monitor the budgets. One of the things that we've talked about is at about the 6-month point, if we need to make a tweak in November, December, we're going to look at making tweaks then. I've already talked to the Utility Commission about it. I've talked to the Utility Director about it, and he is on board with it. Well, you said that we rejected a winter average. With the rate that we came up with, there were several things that were used. The winter average ended up being higher than some of the other numbers that we picked. Now, one of the things that we're going to look at again is we're going to look at winter averages. We're not going back to reinvent the wheel, but we are going to look at flat fees. We're going to look at flat fees that are accelerated, meaning you have a flat fee and then above a certain water usage, you then pay a fee based on cubic foot. We're going to look at annual average. We're going to look at winter average and other options that might be out there. We understand, we've heard people come and talk to us about the issues, and we are sensitive to that. I think that the biggest thing is this came as a shock because you had never received a bill, a fee. You'd seen the taxes, but nobody ever looked at their taxes to say, I wonder how much of this goes to processing the waste, because it's a one-time bill. We now are getting a fee. That fee came in June, July, August. These are the highest energy months. What most people are doing is they're looking at their bottom line, and they're looking at the bottom line, and they say, here's what I paid last month, here's what I paid this month. Oh my gosh, the only thing that changed is the sewer fee, so this has got to be due to the sewer fee. When you deconstruct your bill, you'll find out that if you compare your electric to electric and water to water, in most cases, your electric usage and or your water usage increased. In addition to that, there is now the sewer fee. The other thing to look at is look at the sewer fee compared to the water fee. We stated that the sewer and water should be about the same. And in my case, the water and sewer was about $1 apart. And it depends on how much you use. The more you use, the larger disparity that you're going to see. And like I said, I don't remember if I brought this out or not, but everybody else in the state, no one differentiates summer months from winter months. Everybody charges a fee, whether it's a flat fee or a monthly fee or a quarterly fee or an annual fee. They charge it without any regard to whether or not the water, it is based on water usage. And then if you use the water, then you get charged for it. That's how everybody else in the state is doing it based on the research that I've been given. The research that we conducted, the information that I've been given. At the Committee of the Whole, we also put out a bar graph that showed where we are in relationship to other municipalities. And at some point that will probably go on the website to show where we are. We are about in the middle of the range. And one of the challenges you run into is whether or not, well, one thing you look at is if you have a community that has 40,000 people, then their rate can be less than what our rate would be because they have more people to spread it over. But that's just one of the things. Also, we are in a lower half of rates. But like the council has said, and like I have said over and over, we are committed to looking at this monthly. We are committed to looking very hard at about the 6-month time frame to make tweaks if we need to make a tweak. So that's what I have. Deputy Mayor Garrish.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify a couple of comments that were made. One was made reference to President Trump. This sewer fee never was discussed with him. We never asked his opinion on it. Also, this council never authorized people to go to the Kentucky Derby, and we were very involved and active in making plans so that it doesn't ever happen again. Just wanted to clarify those 2 points.
Well, and that's true. And also, I never voted. If you go back and look at the CMET minutes, you'll see that I never voted for for the lawyers. So you can state what you want, but that's not accurate. Any other comments from the council? Okay, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve the August 20, 2018 Mayor and Council meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. I need a motion for August 27, 2018 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. We have a motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Excuse me. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Communications and reports. Councilor Rusk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On August 29th, actually the entire council in separate groups toured the Tyler House and the Zaberski House to take a look at what we have available in the city and start thinking about potential uses for the property. So thank you to Director of Parks and Rec, Mary Hill, and Director of Building and Zoning, Carlton Smith, for helping us through the buildings and showing us around. And then on September 2nd, along with the mayor, I attended the 237th commemoration of the Battle of Groton Heights. And I just wanted to thank the Friends of Fort Griswold for a beautiful ceremony. It's moving every year.
Absolutely. Excuse me, Councilor Sheffield.
Yes, just following up on Councilor Rusk on touring the Tyler and the Zabierski house, and seems like there's a lot of things that need to be, renovated as far as for any future usage for either of those properties. But it's something to consider down the line, and hopefully we can, make some adjustments and move forward and do something positive down there. So
Thank you.
that's all.
Councilor Depot.
I also toured the houses at the beach with the rest of the council, and I just wanted to say too, if it is something we're looking at to use those buildings and that area more to the city's benefit. So if anyone has any good ideas, because we, even just talking a few of us at a time, we're throwing around ideas, but if anyone has what they think is a good idea, feel free to email them to us, because we're just looking to utilize what the city owns more, just to get more benefit to everyone. So please feel free to email us ideas on any of the public buildings, but especially the beach, because we're kind of focusing on those two, the Tyler House and the Zabierski House, focusing on the utilization of those. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilor Carter.
Nothing to add.
Deputy Mayor Garish.
Only that I also participated in the tour of both beach houses, and very rewarding and educational. A lot of learning from what we saw. Something we can move forward with sometime in the future.
Thank you. Clerk Patrick.
I have nothing.
Finance Director Yost. I just want to echo what Councilor Russ said about the commemoration ceremony on Sunday. My thanks go out to all the participants and to the Friends of Fort Griswold and to Hallie Keeler, the current president. It was a wonderful event, and it's always very moving to think of what our forefathers sacrificed in order for us to be here today. So that's it. Committee referrals. Okay, I have one. This is to Parks and Rec. This is the discussion that we had at the Committee of the Whole regarding dogs on the beach and the ordinances and the rules, to look at those, compare those, also to find out what other beaches are doing, to look at the seasonality of it, actually to look just all of it in general, but the seasonality of it, also the leashing, the walking, the in the car, out of the car, those kind of things, but everything that we discussed at the Committee of the Whole. And that will go to Parks and Rec.
And this would be a review of the ordinance and the language of the ordinance?
It'll be a review of the language of the ordinance and also of the rules associated with the beach, because the original discussion was about the change to the ordinance.
The wording. Yeah,
The wording to the ordinance.
Yes.
Councilor Sheffield.
Yes, wouldn't we have to coincide the beach and parks ordinance to our city ordinance to make it consistent?
They don't have an ordinance.
Well, no, I shouldn't say
They have rules.
rules. Yeah, would their rules be have to be consistent with
Absolutely.
our ordinance as far as the wording goes?
Yep.
And then from there, do we want to decide to change the ordinance if
Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to meet. We need to discuss, get everything out, then we go talk to them, which, as luck would have it, they have a meeting this week. And it's not something that, or not this week, next week. They have a meeting next week. And it's not something that's going to be done in a month. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we have time now before the beach opens again. The beach just closed yesterday. So this will give us an opportunity to dissect it and decide what's best going down the road. Anything else? Okay, new business, Counselor Rusk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-18-9-96, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the appointment of James Streeter, 64 Pleasant Street, Groton, Connecticut, as an alternate member, Planning and Zoning Commission, term to expire on June 30th, 2021. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any hearing none? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor Garish.
Resolution R-18-9-97, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the placement of a memorial tree at Washington Park in honor of ELAINE, SPINNEY, CLENDENIN, in accordance with the procedures for consideration of beach and parks memorials as approved by the mayor and council. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? And we talked about this during the committee of the whole.
Right.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Counselor Sheffield.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-18-9-98, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the placement of a memorial plaque on a bench at Eastern Point Beach in honor of Eva M. Stern, in accordance with the procedures for consideration of beach and parks memorials as approved by the mayor and council. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We also discussed this during the committee of the whole. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Counselor Carter. Oh, I'm sorry. Counselor Depot. My apologies.
It's okay, thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-18-9-99, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the purchase of one model year 2019 International HV 613 dump truck from Nutmeg International Trucks Incorporated, 130 Brainerd Road, Hartford, Connecticut, for the price of $165,677.36, with $35,000 and no cents to be paid from a vehicle trade-in value and $130,677.36 to be paid from FY 2019 capital funds. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We talked about this during the committee of the whole. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Now, Counselor Carter.
R-18-9-100. Therefore be resolved that the mayor and council waive the bid process and authorize and approve a contract with Yankee Remodeler, 95 Truman Street, New London, Connecticut, for the repairs to the roof siding, gutters, and the City of Groton Highway Garage, in the amount not to exceed $20,000 and no cents, to be paid from the funds encumbered in the approved fiscal year 2018 highway operation budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We talked about this during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Counselor Rusk.
Thank you. Resolution R-18-9-101. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the purchase of one 2019 Ford Utility Interceptor from MHQ Connecticut, 750 Newfield Street, Middletown, Connecticut, for the total cost of $28,862.30, and additionally purchase accessory equipment necessary to outfit the vehicle from multiple vendors for the estimated cost of $19,500 and no cents, for the total cost not to exceed $48,362.30, to be paid from current year Police Department Capital Reserve Fund appropriations. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We discussed this during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor Garish.
Resolution R-18-9-102. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve City of Groton to purchase 35 9mm weapons from Interstate Arms Corporation, 6 Durham Road, Elyria, Massachusetts, for a total cost of $14,556.50, with an estimated $7,700.00 to be paid by a trade-in credit, and the remaining balance to be paid from asset forfeiture funds. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We discussed this during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Councilor Sheffield.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-18-9-103. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council waive the bid process and authorize and approve a contract with Coastline Consulting and Development LLC, 57B East Industrial Road, Branford, Connecticut, for design and engineering and construction document preparation for Phase 1 boat dock and kayak launch located at 343 and 353 Thames Street for the quoted amount of $54,400 and no cents. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Rusk.
I just wanted to reiterate that this is a SHIP grant. The $54,400 is coming from a SHIP grant from the state, and then
It
it's
is.
not coming out of the budget.
It's not coming out of the budget, and in addition to that, this group is the one that has done the work and the design work associated with the Lower Costa property. They did the work on the seawall there, and they also did the design work for the bid for the SHIP grant. So they have the experience necessary and needed to continue this work. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor Garish.
No.
No.
No, who did I go? Where am I? Oh, you talked, I'm sorry. I missed you twice.
I know.
Maybe you should miss
Did
it.
you realize it's
No,
your
I
birthday too?
Yesterday.
I know, yesterday.
Yesterday was your birthday.
Well, yeah, here's your birthday present. Oh, my gosh.
I'll
where am I?
say something if you want.
No, that's okay. Councilor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-18-9-104. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the adoption of the City of Groton tax increment financing policy, whose draft is dated June 14th, 2018, and to be effective on the date of September 10th, 2018. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We had a presentation this evening. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Rusk.
Just a question. This is just the city portion, and then the town will have to agree to this? Like,
Okay.
how does that, can you explain that
Yeah.
again, please? Sorry.
Nope, this is good. The town has their own TIF policy. The city has this TIF policy, but because if you're in the city, you're in the town, and as in the presentation, you can do city only or city and town. And as a result of that, the city council will approve the TIF policy. The town council will accept the
Thank
TIF
you.
policy. So, at least that's how it was explained to me. And then on our master plan, the same thing. We will approve and they will accept, since we'll be getting funds from both city and town. Is there any, Councilor Depot?
I just wanted to say that I think, I don't know if it can be said enough, because doing it with the town benefits us both more than trying to do it separately.
Yes,
So we discussed it at a joint meeting several months ago. We got a really great intro to it with the town council, so that we could work together and hopefully, the rising tide.
absolutely. Deputy Mayor
Just
Gary.
a further comment on that, as far as having a town policy and city policy, we are still independent, and this gives us some control in the city. It's not just from the town.
Right.
It's a long-term commitment,
Right.
and so at least we have our say on
Right.
what happens in the city.
And although we are maintaining our independence, this is another example of us working with the town
Absolutely,
in the spirit of cooperation, not
Yep.
competition.
right.
So I agree. Any other comments or questions on this motion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. There is no executive session, so therefore there'll be no comments. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.